Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Sanctum of Rebirth guide. Before getting into each boss mechanics, I'm going to go over a few things. First, we're going to go over gear. Second, we're going to go over universal mechanics through this entire dungeon. First, for gear, I'm doing tier 90 tank armor for all of this. This has always been my testing gear. I don't have great perks on this. I just have some defensive stuff. So you don't need anything super crazy. For my weapons, I just have Aftershock on my Death Guard, so you really don't need any crazy perks here. The ring I'm using, this is the Zorgoth Soul Ring. You get this from a quest, and then you get it from doing rituals afterwards. So all this gear is super accessible. I do have a Scripture of Full, which is very high up front and very low upkeep, but I am not going to be turning it on during this. So again, I wanted to keep the price as low as possible and make it as accessible for you guys as I can. If you have a Zut Cape, you guys should have a Zut Cape by now, but if you don't, this is totally fine. I'm not really going to be using my Death Skull, so you don't need Zut Cape for any of this. Again, going to try to keep this as low requirements as possible. I am using Elder salves. You do not need salves, but they are the best ones. And honestly, for normal mode, I wouldn't even worry about adrenaline pods. Normal mode is very simple, and you should be like blazing through the mechanics if you're doing enough damage. During this showcase, I'm not going to be using my hard-hitting abilities until I have to, or I will be only be using them if like a boss is going to start looping and I've gone through one full loop, so there's nothing else to explain. Then I'll just burst the boss when we get to the next phase. That's the only other thing you need to look forward to, but generally we're not really going to be using these abilities just so we can actually see all the mechanics of the boss, and so that you guys know if you're panicking or just killing it slowly, what you can do. We are also using a binding contract for Hellhounds. There aren't many familiars that are super great here. So Blood Reaver is not the best because on the last boss, you're going to get bursted. You're not really getting bled out. So the healing over time is not very useful. Hellhound is really good for reducing some of the upfront burst and then just allowing you to survive. Once you're more familiar here, you could definitely opt into Calgarian Demon if you want to bring a Grimoire in hard mode, or Ripper Demon. But yeah, Hellhound just felt super good here. Definitely don't need anything better than this. Hellhound also helps if you're messing up mechanics on the last boss, because the last boss does do a lot of damage even in normal mode. So just be aware of that. But yeah, we've gone over all of the gear. Now let's talk about some of the universal mechanics. During each normal mode run, you have 3 free lives. So if you die, you'll just get healed to full. You keep going. If you're close to the end of a kill, just send it because you'll be okay. It's not a big deal at all. Besides that, each boss also has 2 major telegraphs. So whenever a boss is attacking, there's going to be a yellow bar under it that's filling up. The first boss, its yellow bar is 3 attacks. So every 3 attacks is going to do a mechanic. The second telegraph is whenever a boss does an AoE, it's going to show a blue box on the ground that expands to show you the speed at which it's going to appear. So just pay attention to those things, and each boss is actually relatively intuitive. But yeah, now that we've done a quick breakdown, let's just get into the first boss. So I'm going to overload, darkness, summon my guys. Also, make sure you hop over the gap before summoning. They can get stuck over here if you don't move far away enough. Now, this first boss is going to do 3 auto attacks. Then it's going to shoot a crystal at you. It's going to do 3 auto attacks, do a fire breath that's going to do a bunch of typeless damage. Then it's not going to have time to do any other mechanics, even if you're just sitting here doing nothing. So yeah, let's do that. So you see it does 1 auto attack. Also, the first boss's auto attacks are ranged. In normal mode, you can just pray ranged and Ghost will take care of all of your healing. So you see Shard of Muson prepared to mark your feet. As soon as the blue box spawns, move forward 1 square. these appear on the ground and they stay here forever, I haven't found a reason to kill them. So in normal mode, I just leave them there. In hard mode, they do obstruct your pathing. So now I did 3 more auto attacks, and then the box is filling up, so we get out of the box. This does a ton of typeless damage. If you stand inside of it, you will die. So just don't stand inside of it. Now here we kill it before it does any other mechanics. So now we're at the beginning of phase 2. He will disappear and then say he's channeling power towards the west. He's going to shoot 3 bombs. You just want to catch these. These don't do any damage at all. You just want to catch them. He's also going to summon these heads. Personally, I would just ignore them. Hasn't felt a super compelling reason to actually kill them. Then we just go back mid. He's going to do 3 auto attacks, do the spike again, and then he's going to do a big typeless bomb. The easiest fix I've had to the big typeless bomb is just barricading it. So that's what I would do. So we dodge this spike. That guy's name is crazy. He's going to do 3 auto attacks. Say he's going to do the typeless bomb. This is the 3rd auto attack. Barricade as soon as you see the thing, and your barricade will last long enough for you to tank the hit. Then he's going to do 3 more auto attacks and do a fire breath on this west square. Oh, he actually went middle this time. Okay. Well, either way, the telegraph is there, so even though I just lied to you guys for fun, it doesn't matter. Pay attention to the telegraphs, and you'll never actually die, especially in normal. At least on the first boss. The second boss, they come by fast enough that you can definitely die. Okay, so now we're on phase 3. He's going to do 3 auto attacks, then summon some scarabs. When he summons the scarabs, it's 2 in hard mode, 1 in normal mode. When he summons the scarab, you just stun it, and then problem solved. So you just stun it, kill it, go back to hitting the boss. Now he's going to do 3 autos and summon the Moonstone Spike. So wait for the light blue box to show up, then move forward 1 square. Now he's going to do 3 autos in the powerful bomb. Here's the 3rd auto attack. Barricade as soon as you see the text. Now we're going to do 3 auto attacks, and he's going to do 5 breaths this time. So the second breath should be in the middle, and that's the one that you need to dodge. Okay, the 3rd breath. Okay, so it looks like the breath pattern changes. So again, just pay attention to the white box. Also, conveniently, by standing here, you dodge all of the breath attacks except for 1. So that just makes it really easy. Also, that's what happens if you walk into the fire. You take a bunch of typeless damage. But yeah, that's the first boss. Again, if you're pressing buttons, that will go by way faster and you'll ignore a lot of these mechanics. So, super, super simple. I thought I got something good, but I don't know what this Brood Mother thing is. I think this is a lore book. So, whatever, that's fine. Okay, let's get ready for the second boss. Okay, so this boss has 5 main mechanics. Has a grid, which is going to be boxes with lines between them that show up. It's going to have a stun. This is very much like the next Ice Prison stun, where you want to anticipate before it happens, but you can break yourself out, which is really nice. It has a box mechanic where there's going to be no space between the boxes, so it's going to show up in a certain area of the map, and you need to either dodge inward or dodge outward. It's going to summon scarabs. These scarabs, again, they just need to be stunned in order for you to do damage to them, so do that. Then it's going to have the pillar mechanic, which is going to happen every time you phase it. During pillars, you just want to burst down the pillars as fast as possible. They don't do anything while they're alive and while they're charging up, but if you don't kill them, they will start doing massive type plus damage to you. Beyond that, between each mechanic is going to be 4 magic auto attacks. So in normal mode, you just pray magic and you are good to go. So let's summon all of our guys. Okay, we're hitting the boss. So first he's going to start with the grid attack. This is the attack with the lines in the middle. He's going to do 4 magic autos. So the next mechanic is the stun. So you just want to anticipate. Also, you don't have to anticipate this early. And then after you anticipate, you want to click on one of the crystals and just use your death guard. It's the fastest way to kill it and make sure that it ends up dead. Now we're going to do the box mechanic. As soon as he says a word, he's decided where the boxes are going to be. So you want to start moving either in or out. It's up to you, depending on where you're standing. It's a little bit complicated, but when the mechanic happens again, I'll kind of explain it again. So 4 autos, and now we do grids. And then we're going to do 4 auto attacks. He's going to summon scarabs. Again, scarabs are super easy. You just stun them, and then you're good to go. So we use Soul Strike here. Soul Strike here. Now he's going to do the box mechanics. When he says Kia, it's these middle boxes. Whenever he says her, it's these outer boxes. And again, he decides which box he wants to do the instant he says a word. So that's when you want to start moving, is when he says a word, you want to decide based on what he says. So now he summons his pillar, and you see this is ticking up. You just want to burst down the pillar. If you don't burst this down in time, you'll start taking a ton of type plus damage, so just be aware that's what's going on. So now we're on phase 2. He's going to start this with 4 auto attacks. Then he's going to stun. So you see I anticipated like as soon as the bar showed up, which is really good. It means you have actually have a lot of time to like respond to what he's doing. Okay, now we're going to do 4 auto attacks, and he's going to do the line mechanic, which he says pain. You just want to step forward or backwards 2 squares, completely avoid it. And he's going to do 4 auto attacks, and he's going to do 2 boxes. So Kia, we're going to step out. As soon as this box is done, he's going to say her, we're going to step in. Now he's going to do 4 auto attacks, and I believe scarabs are next. Yep. So we just stun the scarabs. If you don't stun the scarabs, they explode into a bunch of type plus damage. So that's why you want to stun them. It says pain, step back 2. And now he should be doing boxes. So we step back. As soon as this is finished, we step back in. Okay, and now you have a pretty good idea of what this phase is, so I'm just going to kill it. He doesn't have any more mechanics on this, so you can just chill. We see stun, we anticipate. If we don't anticipate the stun in time, that's totally fine. You can just freedom. Okay, so I misclicked like 3 times, so I took the damage. It's going to be about 8,000 type plus damage, so that's not even that big of a deal. So you can just kind of tank it if you want to use like a power burst of vitality. So you actually have a pretty decent option select for how you want to deal with that mechanic. As you get more comfortable, target cycling and then using your weapon spec on the wall is going to be the best bet. But again, you have options, especially in normal mode. Okay, he does the line again. And yeah, his mechanics don't change in the last phase, so you could just burst him at this point and just deal with the mechanics as you see fit. Says Kia, we step out. Her, step back in. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go through Living Death rotation so I can just kill this thing. But yeah, that is it. That's all the mechanics. So just be ready for what can come, and you'll never die to this boss. You saw there, we didn't even anticipate the stun, and because we had a skulls bouncing, we had more than enough time to deal with it. Says pain, just move to the side. And that's second boss. Super simple. Arguably simpler than the first boss. Do we get anything good? Oh my god, this Divine Rage. I don't know if this is good, but cool. This video gets, I don't know, let's say like 10,000 views. One of the viewers will get this. How about that? That's a lot more than my normal view count, but that's for you guys to decide. I'll auction it off to people in my Discord. Okay, let's get ready for the last boss. Last boss is by far the hardest, but there are relatively easy fixes to everything that's going on. Okay, so this is the last boss, and this is by far the hardest. The big thing that changes with this boss is this boss will be doing mechanics and auto-attacking you at the same time instead of alternating. So that means that there is quite a bit to keep track of, especially because a lot of these mechanics are moving, but it's not the worst. The best way to keep track of everything is it's always going to alternate attacks when it's mechanic switch. It does 3 magic autos, then it's going to switch to 3 range autos, and that's just going to rinse and repeat forever. So once you get in the habit of every time its bar fills, just switching your overhead, that will help you out quite a bit for just surviving this. Now, phase 1 doesn't last long enough that it has a ton of mechanics to talk about. It will do the wave. It looks like a wave of water. It will do that. It will do magic bomb. It will do wave. Then it will do wave again, and it'll also summon 2 scarabs. Then it'll do wave a 3rd time. Then it'll do magic bomb. If you're using all of your abilities, you will never see more mechanics than this. I'm seeing this many mechanics because I'm literally not using any abilities. So yeah, let's get ready, and then we will show all the stuff going on with the first phase. So these first attacks are going to be magic. I like using this gold square as like a baseline. This is where you want to stand to like dodge everything. So its bar is full, 3 autos. You see the waves are coming. As soon as the gray box finishes, you just want to step south 1 square. You're good to go. Now she's on range attacks. She's going to say prepare for death. For this prepare for death, you want to devotion. She's going to do that mechanic 1 more time, and then you're going to want to reflect it. Every time after that, your devotion will be enough for it. So now she's going to do waves. We just step forward 1. Once her bar is full, she's going to do waves plus scarab. Okay, and then scarabs spawn over here. This scarab has a lot of health, so I like to death guard that one. Okay, and it does it. She instantly waves after you do scarab, so just be aware the second waves come by pretty quickly. So now she does the prepare for death. We will barricade this, or sorry, we'll reflect this. And then now she's going to phase. Okay, now she's going to phase. I think it's at 640. Okay, there we go. Okay, she says the Sanctum is mine to control, and then she'll do these boxes on the ground. If you have the dive ability, you always use dive here because it gets refunded. So there's no reason not to use dive here. So she'll do 2 of these grids. Then when her bar is full again, she'll do Magic Bomb plus Instant Wave. So once Magic Bomb happens, she's going to instantly summon her waves. After this, she's going to do Wave plus Scarab. So we're just going to camp on this side of it because we know that Scarab's coming. Okay, I lied. She's going to do grids. Okay, don't listen to anything I just said. I'm a complete liar. I'll have the rotation up on screen so you can just ignore the fact that I just lied to you. Now she's going to do Waves plus Scarab. Okay, perfect. So again, we kill this with Weapon Spec. We stun this guy. And the main reason we use Death Guard Weapon Spec is that it is a stun. Okay, so now we're on boxes again. Or grids, rather. Gonna do 2 grids. And now we're gonna rinse and repeat the mechanics. So I'm just gonna loop through all of them one more time because I did lie to you guys for fun. It's gonna be 2 grids. Now we're gonna do Magic Bomb plus Instant Wave. So we Devotion the Magic Bomb. We have Instant Waves coming. Then we're gonna do 2 grids after this attack. You have quite a bit of time to dodge these. Then we're going to do Wave plus Scarab, and then this is just going to loop indefinitely until you kill her. Stun this guy. Use Soul Strike to stun this guy. Okay, and now, again, we know it's going to loop indefinitely, so this is going to be grids again. If you stand in these boxes, you'll take quite a bit of typeless damage, so you want to avoid standing in them if possible. Use Devotion here. So this will phase at 320k. And now she's going to summon cats. Now, the way these cats work is they take dramatically less damage if you're outside of their range. The bar will be filling up if you're outside of their range. While these cats are alive, she will do 2 waves and then this 8-sided shape. So what you want to do to deal with these cats is you want to get close to them and then just burst them. But yep, this phase is super simple. You never have anything to worry about here. Just make sure that you're close to the cats so that you can get your full damage. You get dramatically reduced damage if you're not close to them. Even if they heal, it's not a big deal. So now we have the drag under mechanic. She's going to drag you down to the underworld. You see there are these 2 images here. You want to keep these 2 images in mind. You want to click on the Soulstorm, and then these 2 cats are going to spawn. We'll hit the 2 cats. I like killing them with Scythe. It never feels like you need the adrenaline for anything else. Then you want to click the 3 soul fragments. Now she's going to teleport you back up. So this was a symbol we didn't see. So we're going to step here, and then it makes us completely immune to this attack. You see how she's like kind of stunned here, so we're just going to unload on her here, just use all of our abilities. As soon as she starts talking, we want to walk under. So when she says enough, we walk on under her. And then we just wait. She's going to do this expanding pillar twice. Once the closest pillar to her spawns, you can step out. And here she's going to do range attacks the first time around. She says prepare for death, so we protect magic. Now she's going to do 3 sets of boxes into one wave into 3 sets of boxes. And then she's just going to rinse and repeat this until she dies. Also, you notice I'm standing on the vertices of these boxes. That helps a lot with movement. So just get used to standing in those places. So now she has this arc thing and this monkey thing. So these are the ones that we're looking for. We're going to step on whichever one isn't these. Okay, we step on the soul fragments. So we didn't see this time clock, so we're going to step here. We're going to burst her because she's just kind of standing here chilling. Okay, she woke up here, so now we're going to walk under. I stepped out a little bit too early, so I took a bunch of typeless damage. Now we're good. She's going to do magic attacks here. The first set is range, by the way, so you do want to be playing range during this time. We'll devotion. And then we'll just burst her because we know that she's going to be looping. And that is Sanctum of Rebirth. Hopefully this guide helps you. The bosses are super simple. In hard mode, they do get stepped up quite a bit. But in normal mode, I think these are pretty simple. And hopefully this guide kind of shows you that this is very approachable, I think. And that's, I think, the biggest thing to take away from this. If you're paying attention to the bosses and you're dodging the telegraphs on the ground, it will be relatively simple to actually approach these bosses and fix your mistakes. So I think is a big departure from Borkath. So yeah, that's going to be it for this guide. Thanks guys for watching, and I will see you soon. I'm going to be working on the hard mode guide soon, so be aware that that is in the works. Hard mode is very similar to normal, just with a little bit more tacked on to each mechanic. Let's see if we get anything good. We got scammed. So I will be reporting Jagex for this. But yeah, catch you guys later.